talk a little wrestling when I'm in your house. In your house. In your house. I said I'm in your house. So when I'm in your house. In your house. In your house. Hey yo, we talk a little wrestling when I'm in your house. In your house. In your house. Yo, I'm in yo. California dreaming, make me stay scheming like Bobby the Brain Heenan. I'm out here, I got big steppers on my team, and the swagger leave them leaning. And if it ain't business, love, what's the meaning? I'm dangerous like Harley when I'm coming to the function. Hard like Jimmy, I bring the doom to your dungeon. MVP, you get this hurt and this business. Hit this work, I'm the director, you should listen. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to In Your House, starring Hollywood Howse. This is the People's Podcast. Hey guys, you already know who it is. It's your boy Con, ready to get that work. When it comes to this professional wrestling business, that is what we do, and hey, we love it. So let you guys know where you guys can listen to this at. You guys can listen to this at Apple Podcast, Spotify, Spreaker, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Himalaya. Hey, you don't have an Apple device? That's alright. We're on Google Play. Anywhere that you guys are, we can get to you. And hey, it's time to look at the clock. I'm checking the time because the last time that I checked, In Your House was the hottest professional wrestling podcast in the Midwest, because we hit them with that work. Round the clock, you guys already know what it is, and you guys already know who I am, and that is Director Hollywood Howse, ready to hit another jam-packed and exciting episode of the podcast that you love to love, and that is In Your House. And hey, it's time to talk a little wrestling with a hip-hop feel, hitting you with those LA vibes. We're back. We're gonna give it to you, Jack. We're gonna give it to you In Your House, and we are here on the 5-Star Podcast, listened to internationally, built from the ground up, and that's In Your House. And we truly appreciate you coming in and sitting with me, and of course, my man, I gotta bring him in, and that is the curator of content here at In Your House, the marvelous Mr. Bell. How's it going, bro?
Hello. What is up, my brother, Mr. Howse? How are you doing today?
You know, I personally am doing okay. It has been a great week, and we're definitely gonna jump into that and talk wrestling, man. That's what we're here to do is talk wrestling. A lot to cover here, but before we jump into it, my question for you is, man, how are you doing? You doing all right, brother?
I'm doing okay. And you know, we like you said, we have a lot of wrestle stuff to cover for this past week. But overall, man, I am doing pretty great. Life for the curator is can I say pretty marvelous. But as we jump into the week, we really need to talk about and touch on the passing and the heavy hearts that the Wrestle Nation and the household probably has right now, right, with the passing of Scott Hall.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Tough loss. Almost feels like, I mean, out of the blue, with the hip surgery situation. So it's definitely a tough loss, but we don't want to dwell on how we lost Scott Hall. We want to talk more about who the man was and what he gave to us as wrestling fans and everybody in wrestling around the world. People knew the name Scott Hall and Razor Ramon even if they weren't wrestling fans. The man was pretty much a household name, bro.
I mean, he was absolutely a household name. You got to think, if you're anything like me, I am a student of the game and a student of the business, and just anytime like when I'm reflective, especially reflective on someone of my past, I go back and I watch like documentaries, or I go back and watch matches, and that's where I found myself this past, or the last couple of days is really just like going back and watching the work of Scott Hall, and like just even more so realizing his contributions um, to the world of wrestling.
Oh man, I mean, so much great moments that man has had, and when we were putting together the notes for this show, Bell, like the idea was to try to pinpoint some of our favorite Scott Hall moments, and I definitely feel like we're going to talk about that. But as I was, as you said, getting myself refreshed to everything that he'd done, it started opening up my mind, Bell, to all the stuff that he did that I liked. And I'm like, man, it's going to be hard to pick like one or two things that he was involved in that was memorable to me, that was great to me, you know?
It's absolutely hard to pick because I mean, look, this man was a foundational member of the Clique,
Yeah.
which basically spawned, D-Generation X in its own sense, which and was a foundational member of the New World Order,
Yep.
which spawned its own variations of different clubs. You can see Scott Hall's thumbprint on so many different things. I mean, and it's weird even as we reflect. It's not weird, but like as I've been scrolling through the timeline this week, just seeing all the people that were influenced by Scott Hall. The Rock before his matches, Sting. Just so many just people. I found myself. I watched the Living on a Razor's Edge documentary last night as I was kind of like prepping for this show, and
For sure.
like it it helped me to just dive more into the character of what Razor Ramon was and the bad guy. And Scott Hall had his ups and downs throughout his career, and he had his struggles, he had his demons, as we all do. And through the later years of his life, I know his health was kind of up and down and rocky, and he worked on it. He got better with through the help of DDP and DDP yoga and things like that. And we saw a healthier Scott Hall as like we saw when we saw him introduced or inducted into the Hall of Fame as Razor Ramon, and even in the past year when we saw him inducted with the NWO. I think we saw a lot of the best of Scott Hall. I'm just so happy that he got back to his best self towards his later time. We never know when it's our time to go, but man, I know he knows he went out on top, and he should have no regrets. You know what I mean?
For sure, man. I mean, I remember just times when I was thinking to myself, I'm like, we're not going to have Scott Hall here for long if he keeps up this lifestyle.
Yeah.
And it is a testament to that man that he was at his lowest of lows, and he still found a way to turn it around with the help of a great support system, friends. And that's we talk about, people talk about all the ugly parts of the business, but that's one of the beautiful parts of the business, when your brothers can come together and help you get yourself better, So that's beautiful in itself. Just him going out with his respect is just great. Like you said, you never know when you're going to go, but he went out cleaning himself up, getting himself straight, living a better life, and one of the most influential characters in the history of professional wrestling. I mean, he was just the coolest of cool at all times, bro.
All just dripping machismo. There's nobody cooler than Scott Hall. He was the bad guy, and everyone loved the bad guy.
Yeah.
Which was crazy, absolutely crazy. As I went back and watched, just watching him in matches with like IRS
Yeah.
and of course Shawn Michaels in the ladder match.
Oh, great match.
That just seeing how everyone responded to Scott Hall and loved him, and seeing how easily he was able to flip a switch.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
With this character, just as we do as students of the game, we look at it, how a person goes about working on their character, and he just had the perfect character. He, in a sense, where he can make you love him and make you hate him at the drop of his own whim. And, the game owes a lot to Scott Hall, and we just thank him, and we're really sorry for and heartfelt prayers and thoughts are going out to the Hall family and to the whole wrestle universe. I think I think we all hurt from this, right?
Yeah, I mean it really sent shockwaves, bro. So like we talk about him dripping machismo, the toothpick flip, just always having the perfectly slicked back hair, man. I mean, and you talk about everything that he did in terms of birthing things like the NWO. I mean, he was part of the curtain call, which people have different opinions on the curtain call, but he was part of that, foundational piece of the NWO, came in with Kevin Nash as the outsiders, and Kevin Nash even said it himself in his heartfelt Instagram message, man. A lot of people didn't like them at that time, but they leaned on each other. That's why they called themselves the outsiders, because they just leaned on each other when everybody else wasn't messing with them. So and then one of my personal favorite Scott Hall moments, and then I'll ask you some of yours too. One of my personal ones, just looking at it in a different perspective, is you think about his close friendship with Sean Waltman, X-Pac, and during X-Pac's run in WWF, he was the 1-2-3 Kid, and on a random Monday Night Raw. Razor Ramon, in a match that's supposed to be light work, goes up against the 1-2-3 Kid. And what happens? 1-2-3 Kid wins the match clean, beats Razor Ramon clean, and that took X-Pac's career to new heights. And that's got to say something about Scott Hall, because Scott Hall was in the midst of being Scott Hall. He was solidified. He was that guy. He was one of those guys. And he just took this kid, this 1-2-3 Kid, this X-Pac, this Sean Waltman, gave him a big win on Monday night. Takes his career to the next level. And it's so beautiful because Scott Hall made sure he got that victory on that night. And X-Pac was with him even in his final days. That's got to say something about the business, bro. About the beautiful part of the business.
Absolutely, it does. Like we said, and I can't say enough, Scott Hall's been so integral to wrestling, especially wrestling in since the 90s. Just having his fingerprint and his touch on different things. But Scott Hall was a student of the game. Scott Hall went into wrestling seeing wrestlers and seeing what they were doing and said, hey, I want to do that. And he studied what the other wrestlers were doing. He studied what everyone around him was doing. He really soaked that stuff up. And I think because of that, he just so easily was able to give back and to give other guys the rub. Making X-Pac like that, as the 1-2-3 Kid. Nobody knew who he was. He was just, at the time, 1-2-3 Kid was getting some pops, but they were like family pops, you know what I mean? but he did that and then skyrocketed from there. And it's just how goes to show like what you can do for someone in this business.
Yeah. Yep.
And the importance of that, because I don't want to talk about Mr. Hogan on the flip side of that, right? Like the things that he didn't do, but on the flip side of that, Scott Hall was right there doing more things, to make the business better and things like that. So like,
I mean, so much respect given to the bad guy, man. Like, and then you think about him cleaning himself up. I mean, look at all the historic moments that he had. He invaded WCW. He was part of one of the most talked about ladder matches in the history of professional wrestling with him and Shawn Michaels for the Intercontinental Championship. I mean, that speaks for itself. But then even years later, people still wearing his drip style gear, which was his calling card back then. And I mean, when we're going to talk about it for sure, Britt Baker, just on Dynamite with her Scott Hall inspired gear. But like, I think about his later years and his Hall of Fame speech when he got in the first time. And it just really, if I leave it on anything here, I leave it on this, is that it doesn't matter how far you are down deep in the trenches, how it doesn't matter how far down you are in the gutter, rock bottom. I mean, Scott Hall was living and breathing proof that there's no other direction when you've hit rock bottom except for up. I think that speaks volumes, and he said it himself. Hard work pays off and dreams come true. Bad times don't last, but bad guys do. Man, that's just real. That's just real. And that's why I think when I think of Scott Hall, I just think of somebody that was real. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. I don't think that's a better way. There's a better way to end that. As we remember Scott Hall. That.
Yeah. No, I'm with you there, man. And man, we have a great episode lined up for all you guys here. I just want to say this. Usually I have some sort of witty segue or something to move on to the next subject. Out of respect, not going to be doing that. There is no good segue coming out of a legend passing away. So the only thing that I will say is that this episode of In Your House is dedicated to the memory of Scott Hall. And through him, wrestling lives on. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to live on, man, because we have got a lot to cover on this episode of In Your House, Bell.
Yes, indeed. We have a lot to cover, don't we? We're going to talk about everything from maybe a little bit of WWE 2K news.
Yes.
We'll talk some other WWE news. Maybe we'll get into some Crocket Cup. Talk a little AEW today, and we got to talk about where the household is at, right?
Oh, for sure.
But before we do all that, a little birdie told me that you made big stepper moves this past weekend and did big stepper things. So why don't we tell everybody about where the director was?
Oh, man. Huge moment, Bell. So I had the honor and privilege and opportunity to pull up to Louisville, Kentucky. First off, added another state to my resume, and that's great in itself. Check that one off. Heavy, great. I can say I worked in Louisville, but it's where I worked in Louisville that was the big call right there, man. I had the opportunity and privilege to make my managerial debut and bring Household Productions to Ohio Valley Wrestling, bro.
Wait, director. The same Ohio Valley Wrestling that produced the names like John Cena, Batista, that's ran by guys like Al Snow right now. That's where you're at. That's what you're telling me.
Facts. That's the truth, bro. It's
That's
the truth,
what's
man.
that's what's good for the household. You see
Yes.
me doing big things, right?
Yeah,
big steppers
man.
make big moves.
Yes, sir, man. And Bell, man, it was just such an experience, bro. Like it was on their Thursday evening show, and it was great. Got a chance to do TV for the first time. And it was such a learning experience more than anything else, bro. I mean, it was a great environment. Met some amazing people. Hell, I got a chance to meet that alpha athlete in person, Chris Owen, and he had a match that night. Dude is a solid brother, man.
Telling you, that is my guy. I'm going to curate some absolutely great things with him here soon. As soon as he, signs on this dotted line.
Hey, you're going to have a great one on your hands, man. As soon as he signs, I'm telling you that you are going to have an absolute great one. He was a pleasure to be in the locker room with. Me and Sam got a chance to do our thing. That was so special because me and Sam go way back. Sam, he's got a 16-year career, and my career is very short, probably about 3 years. But I know I can speak for Sam when I say that this is completely different. Like me and him working together has given what he's doing a different life, and he'll say that. He'll straight up say that. And we're having fun. And for him to be there at my beginning and to be there with me at this point in my career, OVW being such a huge stage and a great opportunity as it was, that meant a whole lot to me, man. And it's crazy to see the things that I'm doing in terms of working with the Rock and Roll Express, then doing a 3-show stint in Vegas, and now doing OVW and getting a chance to work with professionals. Like not to say that anybody else I haven't worked with aren't professionals, but we're talking guys that have been there. You know what I'm saying? The Basham brothers, Doug Basham there. Al Snow runs the whole thing. The talent that they have, they are really working towards building the future of professional wrestling there at OVW. And I am so honored and so privileged, and I can't say that enough. I'm so honored and privileged that I could be considered part of the future of this business by having an opportunity to work at OVW.
You're out there. You are doing great things, Con, and I hope the listeners out there of this podcast are from the words of a great man, are just relax and take note, and watch these things that the household, you in particular, Sam, Paragon, are doing, because it's a roadmap to how you get into this business, how you do this correctly, how you do this respectfully, and these things aren't coming by accident.
Yeah, and that.
I think it's appropriate to say that there's levels to this shit.
Yeah. Oh, that's definitely appropriate, bro.
So I hope as the household, as they're listening, let's shut the door on this. It's not really a secret, but this is the pathway of how you do these things. And if if you just sit back, take notes, and put in that work.
Yes, sir.
These great things will come from it.
Man, I'm so blessed and so happy to have been able to take this idea, take this vision for who the director is, and even Household Productions as a whole. It was a win for not just me, but it was also a huge win for Household Productions as a brand. Because it got a chance to be affiliated with OVW, which was great. So that was great. I'm so grateful and so blessed. I want to take the opportunity to thank my mentor, the Pope Elijah Burke. I want to take the opportunity to thank Adam Revolver, Doug Basham, of course Sam Knight, my brother. Thank him, and thank Al Snow. All of them for giving me that opportunity, because there's no way in a million years that I ever dreamed that I was going to be in a situation where I could actually perform on OVW television. And, man, it's just crazy. It's no really other way to put it except for crazy. And I'm still, like, struggling with the fact that I did it, because it's like, okay, it's time to wake up now, right? Like, that was a fun dream, but it's time to wake up. But every single day I'm waking up, I'm pinching myself. It hurts, but it's fine, because it's not a dream. So it's great to be able to have done that, man, and just be able to grow this character, man, and keep growing this character. And that's kind of what we're seeing here as we move on into WWE news, man. We talk about growing characters. Let's talk about changing characters. A couple of name changes going on within WWE, man. First it was Gunther, and now this.
Got a man named Butch. I don't really know how to, like, flare that up, because you can't even just flare that up. Like, what is WWE doing? Like, should I get super paranoid right now and become like toxic WWE fan and just be like, what are you doing, because you're ruining people? Or should I look at it from a bigger picture standpoint and say, okay, they're teaching their stars how to just play anything, right?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I'm really not sure what to do. I don't want to be negative, but I also don't want to be super positive. But how you gonna give the man the name Butch?
It looks like they're gonna be a stable of respectfully angry like Irishmen, Englishmen, Europeans.
So Peaky Blinders is the feel that I'm getting now. Okay, now, all right. Look, you tell me. Look, on paper, this sounds really, 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 really good. You got a stable with Peter Dunne, right?
Yeah.
Sheamus and Rich Holland. Tell me how major that is.
That's a good stable.
That's a solid stable,
right? Right.
But we ain't starting this stable off on solid ground, because like they look like they belong 60 years ago, right? And I know my math is wrong. I don't really care. I'm not here to talk math. I'm here to talk wrestling,
right?
Or history. They look like they came out of just a Netflix show, which is cool if that's their thing. But I don't know, man. I don't got hope in this.
But I don't know, man, because like you said, the wrestlers in the group are solid wrestlers.
Solid group. It's a solid group.
I'm torn.
Like, I don't want to, like, I mean, we talking about it. I don't want to call the other man Gunther. Like, Walter. Walter wasn't a major name, like, but it was like, okay,
yeah.
All right, it works for him. It fits. But you get these major players and you're giving them these, look, excuse my language, but you're giving these major players these basic bitch ass gimmicks.
Dewdrop.
and you just like do something with it. Now that's an exception, okay? Dewdrop, the name sucks, but she's at least working with it.
Oh yeah,
I love somehow.
Dewdrop. I love Dewdrop.
Somehow, I don't even know why did you change her name? Her name was Flame as was. What's a better name than Piper Nevin?
I know that's kind of like a badass name. That's a badass name.
It's unique. It's like nobody's gonna think it. I guess on the flip side, Dewdrop is very unique too, but like I don't know. It does not sound like a wrestler.
It sounds weird to me, but like I think And I think maybe because they're going with this new persona that they're going with for Pete Dunne and this group, I mean, I guess they're trying to make it seem like they're like some European bruisers or something like that. But why not just go with like Dunne or something like that? Like,
No,
even if you just did that, why Butch?
you could have even just name him Peter. I some I feel like something would have popped, right? Like you
Yeah.
just name him Peter, like because there's no continuity in WWE, and like I I don't think that's ever gonna get fixed. It's always gonna get worse. I don't know. Like there's just no continuity. You know, you and I think we stopped watching NXT a long time ago, right? Or we stopped intently following it as we used to, right?
Right. I mean, you guys can go back and listen to the old episodes. All I talked about on here was NXT for a good portion of In Your House, and yeah, you're spot on.
NXT used to be the best show running weekly, hands down. You can't tell me otherwise. For a good year, for couple good years. Like honestly, if you were really watching, and now we're watching the systematic destruction of everything that was made by a man named Paul Levesque in WWE. And I mean, we in the house, so let's talk about it, right? Like, because that's what's really happening. We hate to see that, but I don't know what WWE is doing. There's no continuity as far as like between their brands. It's becoming hard to follow. I pray for the wrestlers that are there, for the sports entertainers that are there.
Well, I think you just
I hope
said
they
it right
keep
there.
up.
I think you just said it right there. I think that one thing that I've learned just from checking out what's going on in WWE and learning as far as learning from people like Ricky Morton, Elijah Burke and Al Snow, and saying these names that I have legitimately learned from just in like the last month is crazy, but it's true. I think that WWE is doubling down on being a sports entertainment company. I think that's exactly what we're seeing. I think that WWE may have made the decision to let people that want to tell more wrestling stories and make the wrestling be about wrestling, they're going to leave that to like the indies and possibly even like AEW. But WWE, what we're going to see, or at least what it feels like we're going to see, is we're going to see a television show that's wrestling. There's wrestling there, but the wrestling isn't the main base of the show. The storylines are going to be the main base of the show, and I don't like names like Doudrop. I don't like names like Butch. I don't like a lot of these names that's coming out, your Gunthers and stuff like that. But I think what they're doing is trying to make these people more characters. I think you kind of said it yourself, more characters than wrestlers, because they know how to wrestle. They know how to wrestle. I mean, Pete Dunne,
wrestling for years.
Exactly. Pete Dunne can wrestle his ass off. You can't tell me Pete Dunne can't wrestle.
One of the greatest wrestlers, best wrestlers on this, active wrestlers right now on this planet.
Pete Dunne.
Pete Dunne.
But can you tell me a story, though? Can you tell me a entertaining story? Can you sports entertain me? And I'm not saying what WWE is doing is right or wrong. I just think what WWE is doing is the direction that they want to go in, and that is sports entertain with people that want to sports entertain, because for these people, for these athletes, for these great competitors, the wrestling is easy. I mean, I think about somebody like, look at the development of like Seth Rollins from Tyler Black. Dude has become one of the flashiest dudes out there with a presence that I never knew Seth Rollins could have. And that's partly in due to him becoming a better, I know you guys hate this word, but a better sports entertainer. He's a better sports entertainer than he was when he first started with NXT or even in his Ring of Honor days. Has the wrestling been maintained? The wrestling ability been maintained? Absolutely. Seth Rollins is one of the best in-ring competitors today, along with a guy like Pete Dunne or AJ Styles, Kenny Omega, all those names. We could name a bunch of names because the competitors right now are incredible, absolutely incredible. But that's the thing that's been lacking with wrestling for me for a while, is the storytelling. And you can ask anybody in pretty much any locker room that you go to, is that they miss that aspect of wrestling, is the storytelling. And I think we're going to see that come back. But what WWE is doing is they're doing a reset on a lot of different things and a lot of different people to try to integrate them into the main roster. And I'll say this, I don't like the name Butch, but I'm going to give it a chance because I never thought that anybody named Dolph Ziggler would ever get over. That was the most ridiculous name to me when he first debuted as Dolph Ziggler, and I was like, this is stupid. This isn't a name that's going to get over. And damn it, he's the NXT champion.
That's a whole nother story.
Oh man!
If you really want to get into it, I just real quick, I have a thought.
Yeah.
Did you happen to see the new Batman?
I haven't got a chance to catch it yet.
You haven't? Okay. All right. Have you seen Twilight?
I have.
Or any of the Twilight movies?
Oh yeah. Yep. Watched them.
Yeah. All right. Did you really think Robert Pattinson would be an action star after seeing any of those movies?
Great point. I mean, great point. You're right. I didn't see that coming.
So, for all the marks out there that I don't understand what WWE is doing. This is what they're doing. They're really building actors.
Yes. Yep.
And maybe not actors. WWE is Hollywood.
Yep.
I feel like you understand this.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Right?
Being Hollywood, I understand Hollywood.
Absolutely. Now, look, a Hollywood a Hollywood production company comes out with lots of movies. Some of those movies are going to be bangers, right?
Yep.
Some of those movies are going to be not even D-rated.
Yep.
So, I think that's the way I look at it. But I'm the curator, and I look at things a little bit curiously sometimes. So,
hey, nothing wrong with that. That's exactly why we welcome you on here, man. And real quick before we get to our next subject here, and then we're going to go to break because we got a lot to cover, guys. It's already been a great episode here at In Your House, so we've got a lot to cover. But I also want to send some love out to former multi-time tag team champion and former WWE champion Big E. We have to acknowledge that. Big E breaking his neck on a freak suplex. Nothing that he has to have surgery on, man. But we just hope the speedy recovery for Big E. And to see the outpour of people just lets you know how much that man is truly loved in the business. No, not many people got a bad thing to say about somebody like Big E. So it's really great to see the outpour. But you hate to see it happen as far as the injury. So I just want to acknowledge that and send nothing but love and positive vibes to him.
Yes, absolutely. Let's hope that we can, manifest a speedy recovery for Big E. I know that definitely rocked me too, seeing him laid up over the weekend, hurting. Thankfully, like you said, he not needing a surgery, but he is going to need time, right? So
yeah.
Just thoughts and prayers are with Big E, but hopefully he comes back strong and the same Big E that we all know and love, right?
Absolutely, that's what we want: speedy recovery and back to putting out those strong outings that we know Big E can put out, and nothing but love and positive vibes and healing vibes out to Big E. And speaking of strong outings, man, WWE 2K actually put out a strong outing. I can't believe it. My mind is blown, bro.
You telling me you copped it, right?
I copped it. I got it. I went ahead and got it for the PS5, man, and I went into this game, Bell, with very low expectations. Straight up. I am not going to lie, even in the slightest bit. Even with IGN reviews, giving it a pretty decent review, 8 out of 10, and then seeing everybody with who I know in the wrestling business and outside of the wrestling business, just like fans and stuff, both sides were saying this is a good game. This is a good game. I'm seeing the same thing, and I'm like, I'm still kind of weary though, bro. I'm still kind of weary. And I took my chance on it and went ahead and grabbed it, swooped it up. I picked up that NWO edition one. I had to, showing love to Scott, you know. So I picked up that one. And once again, bro, went into it with the lowest of expectations because 2K20 was a dumpster fire. The games haven't been the same for me personally since, like, some of their early 2K presentations, even dating back to SmackDown versus Raw, and even dating back to, like, Shut Your Mouth and Bring the Pain. And so, like, the last few years have just been so missed for me. But, man, I finally sat down and I played this game last night, went through the tutorial and everything, because it's been a really long time since I played a wrestling game, bro. So I just wanted to make sure that I, remember all this stuff. And some of the buttons were kind of different. But I did my first match with my son. And I will say this, it does stink a little bit about how much release talent is actually in the game. But, like, it doesn't matter to me that much because, like, the game is actually fire, bro. Like, I was Jeff Hardy and my son was Seth Rollins because that's his favorite wrestler. He loves Seth. And we just sat up there and had a banger of a match, bro. Like, it was smooth. The gameplay was smooth, which was huge for me. The graphics were clean and great. The movements were great and realistic to the people, in the ring, whoever it was. Like, Seth Rollins' entrance looked clean. Jeff Hardy's entrance looked good. It didn't look too mechanical. It was just clean, bro. And I really enjoy what they've put out with this game.
Oh, Con, I think you're selling me. I think I might have to go cop 2K now.
You gonna have to do it, bro.
I'm gonna have to do it. I gotta tell you, look, I've been fighting copping anything, honestly, because I've been going through this what is it, like 2-year battle now with robots, buying up all the PS5s.
Man,
your curator couldn't get one, but I tell you, I finally was able to cop one through the help of my beautiful chemist partner. She was able to procure me one. So
awesome.
I think that's gonna have to be my first purchase on the new system.
Bro, I really think so too. We're gonna have to go do some one-on-ones, talk to the household about it. Once you cop everything, that's gonna be fun right there.
No, I tell you what, I'm super geeked to do is I saw a lot of our local Midwest promotions around here starting creator rosters with the guys from around here. So yeah. I saw WCWO. So I cannot wait to download that, get some of the great talents like Blake Money Wright, play with him, play with some of the other characters and with the other promotions around here that are going. So, like, man, we might be able to curate some great things. Maybe we'll curate some great things for the household, some good extra content, if you will.
Yes. A little streaming action. That's what I like. That would be super fun. And it's been a while since I've streamed. I would definitely like to get back into it. Hey guys, let me and Bell know. Like, hit us up. let us know if a WWE 2K stream is something that you would like to see In Your House do. You know, I got the means to do it. I'm sure Bell could get the means to do it, and it would be fun. You guys let us know. Hit us up. Let us know what you guys think about it. Let myself and the curator of content here at In Your House, the marvelous Mr. Bell, let us know if you guys would like that. But, of course, in order for us to get any more equipment towards any sort of new content, man, we got to have funding. And to get funding, man, we're going to have to go to break.
It's that time, huh?
It's that time. We got to pay bills, bro.
Oh, let's pay these bills, Joe.
All right, let's get to it. So, me and the curator are going to take a little break. And when we come back, we're going to talk a little NWA Crocket Cup and a little bit of this past week on AEW Dynamite. Hey guys, it's your boy, the director, Howse of In Your House, and I'm here to let you know about a small business that produces beard products and also supports small stage, independent, professional wrestling stars. It's called Ring Master Beard Company. Try one of their several scents, beard oils, balms, or mustache wax, and keep your beard looking and feeling sweet. Purchase your favorite wrestlers or personalities' personalized scent, and they receive a portion of each sale. And with that being said, don't forget to pick up a bottle of the Director in Alakan House Special. Your boy, a blend of eucalyptus, mint, and tea tree oil. Have your beard feeling fresh. Have your beard feeling smooth, just like your boy, the Director. Follow Ringmaster Beard Company on Twitter and Instagram at Ringmaster Beard, or on their Facebook page, and that is Ringmaster Beard Company. Check it out. Get your beard cream. Hit your beard with that. Because sometimes being a master in the ring means mastering your beard. Welcome back to In Your House, and of course I am your director, Hollywood House, sitting in having a great conversation with the curator of content, the marvelous Mr. Bell. And of course, coming out of break, I have to do my due diligence, as I always do, and that is take the opportunity to thank you guys. You guys, the household, the ones who have made us a 5-star podcast, the ones who have made us internationally listened to around the world. We truly appreciate you. Without you guys, there is no Hollywood House. There is no marvelous Mr. Bell. You guys contribute to making us who we are, and we truly appreciate it. So, if you guys can, I need you to do me another favor. I know I ask you every week, but I'm going to keep asking you. And that's the fact that I need you guys to head over to Apple Podcasts. Also give us a review. It is very important to keeping us charted in the top 200 podcasts on Apple Podcasts. We want to stay there. We want to be somewhere in the featured podcast where people who might not have listened to us, who might not look for us, see us on the featured podcast and click us and want to see what we talk about. It really helps us grow the brand. And hey, another great brand you guys should be listening to, another great podcast you guys should be listening to, is the NWA's own, the National Wrestling Alliance. The Pope, Elijah Burke, puts on a great weekly podcast that I have the honor to produce, and that is The Pope's Point of View, co-hosted by GCW star, NWA star, also seen on Effie's Big Gay Brunch, and that is Pollo Del Mar. They really kick a lot of great knowledge on top of letting you know what's going down with the NWA, which has been some great things. And with that being said, that is a perfect segue into what me and my man, the curator, the co-host himself, Bell, we want to talk about, man. And Bell, we want to cover a little bit of what's going down this weekend, what I call the March Madness of professional wrestling. Bro, that's the Crocket Cup coming up, bro.
Yo. So Han, you're, you're always telling me about NWA and how it's like rising and how it's getting so good and just everything's popping. And as your curator of content, I had to come through. And as I don't watch as much NWA as maybe I should have been doing, I came through. I got that NWA access pass through Fight TV this week.
Oh, it's a great deal.
And what I've been doing is I've been binging and catching up on as much NWA as possible so I can gear up for this Crocket Cup because, it's about to go down, baby.
Yes, man. The Crocket Cup, one of the most historic tag team tournaments here in all of wrestling, and it is going to be great to see. We got 2 days of action. We've got some play-in action here to become the 16th seed. I just really love how they've structured this thing. This is such a great feel and a great thing for wrestling. And there's a lot of great teams in there. I mean, you have Lebellion in there. You have The End. You have Strictly Business. Just so many awesome names. My man Pope is teaming up with Big Strong Mims, the Dirty Sexy Boys. You get a chance to see the Briscoes in this Ring of Honor legendary tag team. The Briscoes come in. So I guess my question for you, out of all these great names here, man, you got them there in front of you. I know that you do. Would you have a favorite that you think will come out winning this thing?
I mean, we're in the household, and we ride hard for our boy, right? Like, so strong feelings are for going out there for Pope and Mims.
Yeah,
I've been checking out Mims as I've been binging through.
I like
NWA. Mims. I like Mims. He's really, really strong,
talented,
and you can't go wrong with cheering or with teaming up with the Pope. I mean.
So much knowledge, and the way that Pope is going to go into this match, he loves the legacy and he loves the honor that comes with calling himself an NWA star. So that he's going to go in there with a lot of extra fire to try to win that Crocket Cup and really just add to his legacy that he's building with the NWA.
Oh, you know it. Pope is on a mission. He spelled it out after he came back from injury. He told us what his plan was, and he told us that he is here for NWA. I heard it, Con. I know he's ready. But, like you said, this tournament is about to be crazy. I'm really looking out for La Rebellion is really nice. I like them. They're a strong team.
Oh yeah.
I really like the Dirty Sexy Boys, the combination of JTG and
Dirty Dango.
Yeah. So I ride strong with them. Controversially, maybe, I don't know how you look at this, but like I really dig the Briscoes. So and I feel like they're gonna come out. There's no way you can't bet against them in this tournament. They're gonna come out strong. So
absolutely,
this is gonna be crazy.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be a great night, man. And there's a sleeper in there that I think people need to be looking out for, and that's Doug Williams and Harry Smith. The son of the British Bulldog. I think that there's somebody that can shock a lot of people. Yes, they're a tag team because it was originally it was supposed to be Nick Aldis in this match because it was supposed to be British Invasion, but of course, with Nick Aldis defending the honor of the NWA and deciding to take on Matt Cardona to try to bring back the NWA World Heavyweight Championship, the 10 pounds of gold, bring it back to honor, to integrity, and Nick Aldis doing so much for NWA since its reincarnation. He's done so much for the company, and for him to see it, and you saw it on Power Surge, the passion, the fire that Nick Aldis has with somebody like Matt Cardona, who's kind of made his name recently on death matches and things of that nature. It really burns up Aldis to see him, of all people, with the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. So the intent to take the title off him is strong, which caused him to pull out of the tournament and bring in Harry Smith. And even with these guys maybe not being super familiar with each other, Doug Williams, tag team specialist, Harry Smith, tag team specialist. These guys together could really go far in this tournament. And you also got to think about the Hawks as well, Luke and PJ. I mean, father-son team there. Who knows each other better than a father and son? The brothers, the Briscoe brothers, who knows? So many different components in this Crockett Cup has made it so high scale and a lot. It's hard to tell who's going to come out winning. But it's hard to bet against like the tag team champions, La Rebellion. But then you also got to think about the Briscoe brothers as well. And that's where I'm putting my stamp on. And that's the Briscoe brothers, Jay and Mark, to come out and win this Crockett Cup.
Ooh, I like where your head's at. I'm gonna go out on a limb here, and my pick for winner of the Crockett Cup is gonna be Strictly Business.
Ooh,
I just have a feeling.
Okay.
Yeah, I just have a feeling Chris Adonis and Tom Lattimore have been really strong here lately. I know they went through some stuff, but like I like them as a team. They're a really strong team, and
yeah,
I think they have a good chance to come out of this tournament. So.
Oh yeah, and that's and like I still want to show love to like Jordan Clearwater and Marche Rocket. You know, they're going to be going up against Strictly Business, but Strictly Business is such a cohesive unit. But also Clearwater and Roche are as well. Marche Rocket, they're a pretty good unit too. They've really strung together, and once again, we saw it on Power Surge. And I love the presentation of how they did all the brackets and everything with Corrigan there and Pat Kinney there, who's their talent relations guy coming out. It just gave this really great, like, real sports feel to it. Guys, go check out Power Surge. It's on Fight TV, and I just love the presentation so much. I love how they did it, and the Crockett Cup is going to be super interesting, man. You also have another great match coming up on day 2 of the Crockett Cup, and that's the NWA World Junior Heavyweight Championship. That's going to be featuring Austin Aries, Kobe Carino, Darius Lockhart, and Homicide. That's going to be a great 4-way match there, man, and with great competitors. Is there anybody in that match that you're thinking might come out of this thing on top? You got a winner? What are you thinking?
This is kind of the match that I'm looking for, because I think this is going to be the most interesting match. It'll probably be the banger of bangers as far as the whole card goes. Like it might be the sleeper match. You know what I mean?
I could definitely see that in this match.
Austin Aries, absolute veteran pro. And I look at Kobe Carino and the rise that he's having, and the work that I see that he's been putting in. He is great. My heart is there for Darius Lockhart.
Oh, yeah.
Want to see him come out. And then you got Homicide, who's just a vet. Like, this match is going to be crazy. Look, I'm gonna pull for Darius Lockhart on this. There's no picker or no necessarily picks of this, but that's where my heart is.
Yeah, same here, man. I love what Darius Lockhart does, and I would love to see him come out winning this thing. And I even had him coming out winning the thing, but just in recent days. But watching and seeing how things are going on, man, I'm pulling more towards Kobe Carino. I'll be honest. I'm pulling more towards Kobe Carino coming out and winning the World Junior Heavyweight Championship.
I know he's had a rise. I know his work with he works with he has the Fixers, right?
Yeah.
I feel like he does have an advantage in some ways. That like Kobe Carino's gonna do something. He is someone to watch in this match. So.
Yes, I think that it's important to note that Kobe Carino has done a lot of good work for NWA lately, and for that reason, could be the reason why he comes out with that championship. But we got a lot of more great action. We're only going to talk about a few matches here because we still have more things to talk about. The NWA National Heavyweight Championship will be on the line. Also, the NWA World Television Championship will be on the line. The NWA World's Women's Tag Team Championships will be on the line. So you'll get a chance to see Anthony Mayweather. You'll get a chance to see Tyrus with Austin Idol. You'll get a chance to see the Hex, Allison Kay, and Marty Bell. But we want to talk about the NWA World's Women's Championship, where the Brick House, Camille, goes up against Smiley Kylie Ray and the hot mess herself, Chelsea Green. That's going to be a great match right there, but who do you see coming out of that big triple threat?
I don't bet against Camille.
Yeah.
I don't think that's safe to bet against Camille. She'll probably whoop my ass, to be honest.
Straight up.
Yeah.
Like, that is a big statuesque woman, and I honestly, straight up, and I like Kylie Ray. I think she's a great competitor. I also like Chelsea Green. I think that what she does is great. But I think that if this was a 2-on-1 match for the World's Women's Championship, and it was both Kylie Ray versus Chelsea Green going up against Camille, I'm still saying Camille. I'm not betting against Camille.
No. How can you? She's so dominant. And
yeah.
She's been so dominant for what seems like almost 2 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you don't bet against Camille. I love Kylie Ray. She's Smiley Kylie Ray, and she is great, but I think Camille's gonna run through her.
Oh yeah, I feel the same way, bro. So we both agree on Camille on what is going to be a great weekend of action. The Crocket Cup, so exciting to see the Crocket Cup in this capacity, in this light. It just feels right. It feels good because I've said it once and I'll say it 1,000 times. When the NWA is good, it is great for professional wrestling. So we got that. We also have the main event of the evening, the NWA World's Heavyweight Championship, the Real World Heavyweight Championship, the 10 pounds of gold, where Matt Cardona, we're going to find out if he's always ready, if he's staying ready against the National Treasure, Nick Aldis, with special guest referee Jeff Jarrett for the title. We had a chance to see on Power Surge these two men have a confrontation. The passion and the fire between these two men over this title is starting to boil over. Matt Cardona, who feels like he's going back and getting it. Sankofa spirit right there on Matt Cardona as he's going back and title collecting. But Nick Aldis doesn't see the NWA World Heavyweight Championship as just some collected treasure. It's not just something to collect, because we all know that Cardona collects toys, collects action figures. Now he's collecting titles. Listen, he doesn't see him being Nick Aldis. He doesn't see the NWA World Heavyweight Championship, the 10 pounds of gold, as just something to throw in a case and be looked at as a collectible item. He sees it as the crown jewel of the NWA, everything that he helped to build in his historic reign as the NWA World Heavyweight Champion. And he wants to bring that lineage and bring that legacy and bring that honor back within the fold, within the realm, within the confines of the NWA. So a lot riding in this match, man. What are you thinking, Matt Cardona or Nick Aldis? Everything on the line here, man.
Everything on the line. And to cap off night 2 of this basically Night of Champions.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Night of the Crocket Cup. I'm going with Matt Cardona.
Oh, wow. Going with Matt.
He's going to pull it out. I know that he treats the 10 pounds of gold as if it's just a collectible item that he could sell to some fat guy on eBay that lives in his mom's basement. But he's going to find a way because he's sneaky and he's dastardly. And you know what? I kind of like that about Matt Cardona. I kind of like that he's just going to all these different promotions and he's saying, let me get your belt, son.
Yeah.
Let me get your belt, son. You know,
I can help your promotion, brother.
I like that he's doing all these death matches. I like that he's doing all these things that people say he shouldn't do because they're saying he shouldn't do it, and that's what makes me love it, to be honest.
He's breaking all the rules, man. He's breaking all the rules. He's saying that he's coming to save the NWA. Well, Nick Aldis says that now that the title is within the hands of a scumbag like Matt Cardona, that now the NWA truly needs saving. But I'm going to tell you something, Bell. I'm going to tell you something. I agree with you. I think Matt Cardona is going to win. And I think that it's going to be a sneaky win. And I think it's going to be a sneaky win because Jeff Jarrett is going to screw over Nick Aldis. And he's going to join forces with Matt Cardona. And it's going to be a movie, baby.
I think you are right. You know, it's almost as if it is a movie and you are the director and they are curating a change for the NWA. I think that's what's going to happen. Such exciting things are happening in the NWA.
Yes.
I'm so happy that I'm tapping in at this time.
Yes.
It's a great time. It's exciting time. And everybody out there in that household, if you're not checking out the Crocket Cup, the fuck are you doing?
What are you doing? Seriously, it is going to be an epic professional wrestling weekend. I know you guys here in the household, you guys claim to be professional wrestling fans. That's what this podcast was based on. It was based on the foundation of hardcore professional wrestling fans. Well, that's exactly what you're going to get this weekend at the Crocket Cup. It's some fantastic tag team. Listen, Bell, I'm a huge fan of tag team wrestling. I love tag team wrestling. I'm a sucker for it.
Love it.
This is it.
Yeah. This is the tournament of tournament. If you love tag team wrestling, like you and I do, right? This is the tournament to watch. This is the foundation of wrestling. I think I said on a couple podcasts ago that tag team wrestling, the tag team titles really should be held higher in some capacity than the heavyweight title. I'm just saying,
because
might
it's
be
a
controversial,
completely different
but
division.
this is at it.
No, I agree. I'm going to say right here, I agree that the World Tag Team Champions should be treated as just that. The World Tag Team Champions. Because tag team wrestling is awesome. And when it's done right, it's probably some of the best wrestling that you're going to get. Man, I'm excited. I'm fired up for the Crocket Cup this weekend. I'm going to be tapping in, tuning in, checking it out. It's a great time for wrestling, and that just continues here, Bell, because we got some more great wrestling to talk about as we dove, and delve into this past week's, yesterday's, as a matter of fact, AEW Dynamite, bro.
Whoa, Dynamite was a banger. I mean, I wish it was on TNT still, so it would just explode, right?
Yeah.
Because that's what they did last night with that hell of a match, that cage match.
Yes.
Between Thunder Rosa and Dr. Britt Baker. Can they just wrestle forever?
Man, every time these two athletes, these two competitors, these two strong women get into a ring together, it's always art, bro. It's beautiful violence.
It is. I don't love the AEW women's division as a whole. There are some shiny spots in that. These two competitors being a couple of the shiniest.
Oh yeah.
And I want to go back and rewatch that match over and over and over again. I wish Tony Khan would hurry up with the HBO Max deal, so
man,
could have already been watching it. I'm just saying, yo Tony, I know you listening because we're mage.
No, we're big here. Just big deal here, bro. So like, yeah, man. I wanna see that too. Speed that up, Tony, because I already got HBO Max and I am here for the AEW content on my HBO Max app. But this match here was a great match. Everything just felt big with this match. It felt right. It felt like there was electricity. Whether it be the fact that they made it a cage match, so so the good doctors cohorts could stay out of it, or the fact that it was in Thunder Rosa's adopted hometown of San Antonio, Texas, or the fact that they showed color, or the fact that it was for the AEW World Women's Championship, which they've redesigned, which looks gorgeous, by the way. And it was just a big fight feel in that main event, man. It was great to see Thunder Rosa have her moment in the sun in such a big but also unique cage match. There was some parts where you could step out if you wanted to. It was almost reminiscent to an open celled Hell in a Cell.
Yeah, it was a little bit different. I like the look of AEW's cage. It did feel a little bit different, and it did feel Hell in a Cell-ish without the top. So I thought that was really great. And first off, let me just shout out Thunder Rosa, who is an AACW alum of my home promotion.
Yes.
So big shout outs to Thunder Rosa. We are very, very happy in this neck of the woods for her, because it is well deserved. Also shout out to who the creator of AEW right now, because I know there were a lot of naysayers that people that wanted AEW to pull the trigger at Revolution on this.
Yeah.
They wanted this to happen then. But man, did Tony Khan make this moment big for one, women's wrestling, and two, for Thunder Rosa.
Yep.
Because they could have pulled the trigger at the pay-per-view. And Thunder Rosa could have got her big win, but they waited. They waited for this obscure show in San Antonio, her second home.
Yep.
And made a big moment, and they came out with a banger, because those two women, I think they can't not wrestle each other great.
Yes. Yeah. With the combination of the improvements that Britt Baker has made over the years, Thunder Rosa being one of the hardest working women in professional wrestling. I mean, that's easily said. One of the hardest working women in professional wrestling. These two going up against each other, this is definitely going to be Hall of Fame worthy stuff when they talk about it one day. And the feuds that they've had, the matches that they've had, are going to be great. This is contributing to helping make AEW's women division great. These are your two foundational pieces that you have right here. And you made the right move in the right city, in the right situation, with the right match type and the right amount of aggression in said match to put the title, that is, on Thunder Rosa. It just felt right. It felt good, bro.
It absolutely did. I mean, so if you're sitting down at home and you're taking notes on how to build characters, how to build your stars, this is how you do it. These are the ways that you get this done.
Absolutely. I mean,
that was absolutely great for Thunder Rosa.
Yes. I mean, and you talk about building people up. We're seeing that right now in a couple different aspects of AEW. I mean, whether you want to talk about Jon Moxley and Bryan Danielson, with William Regal looking to recruit Wheeler Yuta, or even the Jericho Appreciation Society starting to come together, and Jericho doing what he does, and that's giving his rub to some new cats here, man.
Those two things are absolutely great. Also, Scorpio Sky's securing his first title defense was absolutely mage too. Let's not super breeze by that, but the moves with Wheeler Yuta, attempting to join what are we calling this faction between Daniel Bryan, William Regal, and Jon Moxley? The school? What are we calling this?
Yeah.
Because anyone who joins them is just going to get an absolute education.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and most definitely William Regal educated Wheeler Yuta with a slap across the face, and Wheeler was here for it. He wants to learn. He wants to get that aggression up, violence, bro. So it's great to see that this group is definitely growing because they're following the blueprint of what Bryan Danielson said they wanted to do in the very first place.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. They are men of violence. They are going to teach violence, and they are recruiting violent gentlemen. And they're not just letting violent gentlemen in. If you didn't notice that, Mr. Yuta has some homework.
Yep.
He was sent away with a task. So I can't wait to see what happens with that. This is super interesting. What does this mean for, this part of Chaos or the Best Friends unit as a whole? As we also saw some signs of maybe Starlander.
Statlander, Chris Statlander.
I'm sorry, Statlander dissenting from the group as well. So what does this mean for the Chaos Best Friends faction?
Yeah,
it's a lot of questions in this, right?
Whole lot of questions going on. You got the violent side of the stable. Now you got the entertainment side with the Jericho Appreciation Society, man. And Jericho made a lot of interesting points in his promo last night. More specifically, we talked about this before the show. That's the use of the word sports entertainer.
Sport entertainer. Now, I think some people when we say that word, they cringe.
Yep, a lot of wrestling fans do.
You think they're on the other side of their earbuds and they're cringing right now as we say sports entertainer?
Oh, you mean the word sports entertainer?
Oh, people don't like the word sports entertainer, which I think is absolutely absurd. If you've met me, you've met me, we're kind of one in the same mind. Yep. I think we feel the same about some things. I think the word sports entertainer is an absolutely marvelous word.
Yep. Yeah, you guys heard it here first. We do love sports entertainment. I know it sucks to hear, but sports entertainment is part of what makes the sport entertaining.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And just watching Jericho change and evolve, and we see this new iteration of what is Jericho, the sports entertainer, as he also is going to groom and evolve a new set of sports entertainers.
Yep.
And let's shout out to Chris Jericho, as we do and as we probably can't do enough, because he is going to mold a different set of individuals.
Yep.
In this group. In a different way than he did with the Inner Circle. We saw he made Sammy a TNT champion.
Yep.
Pride and Powerful still look strong. They look like a very strong tag team. That I don't think that's changing. Mm-mm. Now let's see what he does with, formerly 2.0.
Yep.
And Daniel Garcia. Let's see what he makes them into, because I think Jericho's a genius, I think.
Oh yeah.
I think we are just seeing tip of the iceberg of like his actual genius and his touch. Like, because if you don't see what he's doing, like the bigger picture of what he's doing, like, man, you're in for some surprises, because this is going to be great.
Man, it is going to be great. Totally agree with you there, bro. My biggest thing with that is it's going to be interesting for me to see what Chris Jericho does with a Daniel Garcia, because Daniel Garcia is a very serious competitor. He's somebody that I would consider to be a wrestler. So for me, it would have made more sense for him to be in the William Regal, Bryan Danielson group. But it's going to be interesting to see how Jericho develops him into what he is, into what he's going to be towards the future. We talk about that development, and I always talk about guys like the one that always comes to mind, because I talked about him earlier, Seth Rollins, and his development into a sports entertainer from a very solid, high-flying, and technical wrestler. It's going to be interesting to see Jericho's touch on a Daniel Garcia.
You hit the nail right on the head there. I think it'll be very interesting to see if, and to honestly parallel in a few years, Daniel Garcia and Tyler Black into Seth Rollins to see if Jericho's touch gives Garcia that slider, that bit of edge to make him, an all around performer, not just a wrestler.
Yes.
Right, man, we are students of the game, and we will study this game because, as we are also entertainers, correct?
Yep.
I think we use this as tools to, okay, cool. He took that, made it into this. How can we adapt this? So I am on pins and needles to see this iteration of Chris Jericho, because I see what he's doing, and I think it's marvelous.
Yes, man, it's great to see all these fantastic things going on in wrestling. It's also great to be a part of it. Before we get out of here, because we're running out of time here, I also wanna acknowledge the fact that the Hardy Boys had their AEW Tag Team debut against the Private Party. I could only imagine how that was for the Private Party. Like, they were probably like low key marking out, bro. like for real, big time. And I'm so happy for them. They got a chance to have that match with one of the greatest tag teams of all time. You had Matt and Jeff come out to their original music, which is great. Jeff, that is, was finally coming out and dancing appropriately at the right time, not while his brother was getting his ass beat. And it was great, man. It wasn't like a clinic of a match, but also it didn't have to be either,
No, it didn't steal the show, although, man, like, what an opportunity for Private Party. Just, shout out to them. I know they were geeking out. Like, there's no way you can't.
Oh yeah,
cannot.
They were.
Hey, you guys are gonna get the debut match of the Hardy Boys, their debut match for AEW. You guys get their debut match. Like, that's history.
Yeah, that's great.
That is history, and that is history for them. And just shout out to Private Party, because, man, we've seen them work so hard over the last 3 years, and they are integral parts of AEW.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't think they're going anywhere, because AEW has put a whole lot of stock into them.
Yeah.
Whole lot of stock into them. Speaking of stock, though, and, things I put stock into, what I put stock into?
What's that?
The household.
Yeah.
And where we're going to be at as a whole over this next weekend.
Oh, man, yeah, a lot moving. I know you got a lot of stuff moving yourself, and we're definitely going to get to that. But as far as Household Productions, I got to let you know where Household Productions is going to be at this weekend, or what they've been doing. Now, as far as what's going on this weekend, I can confirm that the Tank, the Enforcer, the prize fighter of Household Productions, Sam Knight.
Hand of God.
Yes, and the right hand of God is going to be at HCW in Terre Haute. That's Combat Evolved. That's going down this Friday night, the 18th. Doors will be opening at 5:30. Bell time is at 7. Go out there and check out the Enforcer of Household Productions himself, as he's jockeying for position as we get closer to May for their 6-man eliminator for their Hybrid Midwest Championship, which Sam will be involved in May. But definitely check him out. This Saturday, which is going to be the 19th, he is going to be in Elkhart, Indiana for a Hardcore Hysteria 3. And he's going to be in there, of course, representing Household Productions over there at Elkhart. So the Sankofa spirit moves across moves across Indiana as we keep on moving here. Also, other great matches, such as Don't Die Miles is going to be facing up against Shannon Moore. Big match for him, so good luck to him in that huge match. Aaron Atlas and Cole Radrick. Cameron Saturn going up against Space Jesus, Billy Starks. Marcus Mathers versus Kevin Giza. Bastard Cassidy going up against Ace Perry. That's just a great night of action, man. And it's going down 4510 North 13th Street in Terre Haute, Indiana. That is going to be a great night in Terre Haute. I had a personal great time when I did commentary to HCW. That is going to be great. And man, Paragon's got something going on to himself, man.
Oh yeah, yo, did you check Paragon out yesterday on Twitch? He was on the Wake and Bake with Schwartzy and Ratlock.
Oh yes, Vinny Ratlock, love him, love both those guys. They put on a great show.
Yeah, so Paragon was on Twitch yesterday, so you can go check that out. Check that out.
Man, Paragon has been doing great stuff, man. He just regained the United States Championship over at WTF. That is Wrestling Theology Fellowship. And I got a chance to go there too and kind of scout some talent, scope out the situation. And they really put on a good show, man. So at this point, Paragon is just straight title collecting. And I'm sure he's going to be talking about that on the Wake and Bake.
Oh yeah, I know he will be. So I hope the household goes and checks that out, because that'll be absolutely great.
Hey man, we go from great to marvelous, because we got to let them know what you got going on coming down the pipeline, bro.
Oh, well, check it out. This Saturday, March 19th, I will be at BMFX Winner Takes All. I need a decision from the alpha athlete, Christopher Owens. He needs to decide if he is going to accept my direction, my curatorial, ideals, my influence.
Yeah.
My influence, because you know this, Con. I'm an influencer.
I agree.
I'm the influencer of influencers. But everything's going to come to a head this weekend. We're going to, it's an easy decision.
Yeah,
so,
easy for him to make, man.
We'll be there. That is in Lafayette, Indiana, at the WIA Recreational Center, 2004 WIA School Road. Tickets are $10. Kids under 5 are free. So come check us out there.
Nice.
Yeah.
You got anything else coming up?
I
saw you was just on a poster.
I'm always curating something. So I will be at For Us Wrestling in October, whoa.
You went way far out.
way far ahead. In April, on April 22nd, I will be at For Us Wrestling. You remember where Rasputin was?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man. That's going to be great, man. Hey, wait a minute. Well, that's your first out-of-state booking, isn't it?
That is.
That's great.
Just out here, I'm trying to show the household the right way to do this. We're trying to do this the right way. I am super excited to and humbled, to get the call. I'm ready to check out For Us Wrestling. I hope they are ready for the curator, because I am going to be marvelous, as I always am. I also have a show here in Kokomo, on April 9th coming up. For AACW. We're super excited about that. You can always catch me on the Kokomo Press, the Kokomo Press page and the Kokomo Press podcast. I'm out there, and I'm Curator Bell everywhere, because, I'm out here curating class, curating culture. I'm just curating everything I can for all the people, because I'm an influencer.
There you go, man. There it is right there. Man, we got another great episode of In Your House. in the books now, man. Recorded, ready to go for public consumption, and out there in the airwaves for people to listen to. So we hope you guys enjoyed it, man. I always enjoy talking to the curator, my co-host Bell. So appreciate you, man. We'll do this again next week.
I cannot wait. Cannot wait. I'll see you next week, Con. And I know I will curate so much content for us to have the greatest conversation.
Yes, sir. And this was another great episode of In Your House. You guys know where to find the director at. Twitter is Hollywood Howse. So is Facebook. It's The Hollywood Howse on Instagram. And across all those social media platforms, it's In Your House. And remember, that's HOWSE. And the W is for work. So let you guys know where you guys can listen to this at. You guys can listen to this at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Spreaker, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Himalaya. Hey, you don't have an Apple device? That's all right. We're on Google Play. Anywhere that you guys are, we can get to you. Hey, if you want to see your boy the Big Stepper on OVW, go ahead and check it out on the Fight app, and it is really going down. And while you're at it, go ahead and head on over to www.prowrestlingtees.com/inyourhouse so you can get this work and you can get this shirt. And while you're doing that, always remember what you need to do. Hop on this bandwagon. Get on. Or get got. Because the household, well, we still going mighty strong. You guys have a great day and a great rest of your week. Peace.